Hello, boys and girls. This is Mrs. DePietro. I am here to talk to you about a wonderful program, and it's through an organization called the Sandy Hook Promise. And the Sandy Hook Promise came from a tragedy that occurred on December 14th, 2012. And it's a date in our history that we will never forget. On this day, 26 lives were lost due to a preventable act of violence. Two of those lives lost were 6-year-old Dylan Barden and Daniel Hockley. From this tragedy, the parents of Dylan and Daniel created, along with many members of their community, created a foundation called Sandy Hook Promise. And through this program, they have created many different ways where students and adults can reach out and support one another. They have been there during other school shootings and other crises that have occurred in our country and are there to support our kids. One of the programs that they have developed is called Start with Hello. It's a very simple way where we as a school can seek to look out for one another and make sure that we all belong. So today I'm going to take you through a PowerPoint presentation to teach you 3 basic steps to help you connect with the students in our building. Today we're going to learn about how to create a closer, more connected and inclusive school and community. Take a minute and think about a time where you may have felt lonely, passed over, excluded, invisible, isolated, shut off, or even ignored. We've all felt that way at some point in our lives. And take a minute to think what that felt like. Millions of students in every school, in every community, across our country have felt alone, isolated, and quietly suffering through each of their days. As a result, young people who are alone or isolated can sometimes become victims of bullying, violence, and may lead to depression, which can lead to these students pulling away from society, from their friends and their families. They begin to struggle with social and developmental learning. They start to have trouble with school. They start to disconnect from their friends. They may have physical illnesses, and they may even hurt themselves or others. We need you to build that sense of connectedness, to make those students feel a part of something bigger than themselves. In just 3 simple steps. The first step, see someone alone. Be aware of your surroundings. Look around to the students among you. Do you notice someone that may be isolated or maybe off on their own, whether it be in the hallways, on the bus, walking to and from the bus to school, in a classroom? Number 1, see someone alone, be aware. The second step is to reach out and help. How can you reach out to that person who may be feeling isolated and lonely? How can you and what can you do to reach out and help them? And the third step is to start with hello. A simple greeting, a simple smile, a simple hand gesture, a wave. How do you start with hello? So number 1, let's go into a little more conversation. So 1, see someone alone. Again, be aware of your surroundings. Look around in the classroom, in the hallways, on the bus. Where do you see those people? And a lot of times it's our new students that come to school where they had to leave their home, their school where they had their friends to come to our big school. So look for those students who might be lonely and need a friend. And these are some signs and signals that will help you recognize someone who might be alone. They might prefer to stand off by themselves. They kind of keep to themselves. They might be uncomfortable or anxious around other kids. And sometimes they're purposely left out from others digitally, and beware of that. Social media can be a very difficult thing for kids your age right now. And sometimes they may seem removed from everybody else. Where can social isolation be found? Well, it can be found anywhere, whether it be classroom, social media, on the bus, the lunchroom, school events. If you're in activities after school, it can happen anywhere. And again, to be aware of those around you. Someone can feel alone even though they are with others. So again, you may have people around you that may not feel comfortable and are not engaged and part of your conversations. So now step 2, once you've recognized you see someone alone, now what do? You reach out and help. But what does that look like? What do I do? I want to reach out, but I don't want to be awkward and make someone feel awkward. Do they really want to talk to me? And won't they think it's strange if I just walk up to them? What reasons make it hard for you to reach out? We've been doing this program for many years, and I've heard a lot of kids say, it's hard just to walk up to somebody. So let's see what you can do. There are tips and practices, activities you and your school can do to make a difference. And we're going to do some activities this week and next week, talking about social isolation and doing some activities where you can connect in a more comfortable way with those around you. But here's some things you can do. Sit with someone who may feel alone. And I know our school is in a different place right now with COVID, where we have to stay in our seats and lunchroom looks a little bit different. But there's still some ways where you can reach out to someone who might be alone. Social media. Some of you are on social media, and I warn you to be very, very careful about what you say on social media, but maybe to reach out and connect in a positive way. Invite someone to join you, and maybe that's in an activity after school or something that you're doing. Give a simple gesture to someone, a wave. It's so simple. A smile, which we can't see right now with masks across our face, but definitely a wave is significant. Or what about a note? Just to leave a note on someone's desk in the morning, or at a lunch table, or put it on a locker to let someone know that you're thinking of them. Some things that our school can do. We did a No One Eats Alone Day last year. Many of our 5th and 6th graders should remember that. Unfortunately, right now this year, we cannot do a No One Eats Alone Day, but we're trying to find something else. This year, we are going to do a Hey Day, where we're all going to wear name tags. So when you walk down the hall, you can say, hey, so-and-so, and you can call each other by name, because that's the beginning of being connected to one another. We're going to be doing a scavenger hunt, or more like a bingo within our classes to get to know those who we spend our days with. A Get to Know Me Day, again, that's going to be an activity in your classroom where you get to know each other a little bit better. And then our final step, once you reach out and help somebody, is to start with that hello. Conversation starters. And this is where we're going to do some of these in your advisory or your Spartan Success classes in the next 2 weeks. Some important data that I think you should be aware of is that 8 out of 10 are very hesitant to start a conversation. We all are human, and sometimes that initial conversation is very hard to have. But 8 out of 10 are happy that they did. Oftentimes, things you were afraid of or hesitant to do, once you do them, you are so grateful that you did. Some things that you can do, these are some simple things to ask some questions to get to know someone who might be alone or new to our school. Who are you? What are your favorite things to do? When did you move to town? Where's your favorite place to visit? And why is that your favorite place? Who, what, where, when, how? Some important questions that you can ask someone who is new. Icebreakers. We did a lot of these last year. So and these are kind of fun. And again, these are fun icebreakers that you can do with your advisory and even within your groups. And that's a fun way to pull somebody into an activity with you. How simple is this? What's your favorite? So many favorite things out there. And by getting to know what someone else's favorites is, may again build a connection for you and them, and may have the same favorites as they do. This or that. Would you rather be a fish or a hippopotamus? So you can go through and just kind of be silly and just kind of have fun with the would you rather questions. We are going to talk about an activity. It's not the same one here, about my shoes, and kind of having some empathy for others and trying to put yourself in someone else's shoes. And what would you need in that situation? So you will be doing an activity about putting yourself in someone else's shoes. This is so simple. A handwritten note, sometimes just to take 5 minutes, just to write something like, I hope you have a great day. You have a great smile. I like your humor. You make me laugh. Whatever it may be, put out a kind note to another friend or a classmate or someone that you see on the bus. You have no idea the power of encouragement and compassion by giving a note to someone can brighten their day, can make the difference in their day. Why should you? Why should you start with hello? Well, of course, to create a more connected and inclusive school and community. That's why we're here, to connect with one another and to be a part of things together. Friendships, of course. The goal is to make friends with all of these different people that are in your classes, in the hallways, on the bus. This is a chance to build those connections and to build more friendships. And obviously to make a difference. I often talk to the students of our school about the power that you have to create the culture in which you live in every day at BCIS. To make a difference in someone's life and to help them feel accepted, included, and valued. And not only does that make them feel good, but that makes you feel good too. And obviously to help somebody from possibly hurting themselves or hurting someone else. You have the power to make that difference in someone else's life. Here's proof that Start with Hello works. Made me feel valued, noticed, I belonged, found my best friend, made me a better person. I learned something new. I got my friend to help. So there are 3 steps with the Start Hello program. Number 1, see someone alone, recognize. Number 2, reach out and help. How do you do that? And number 3, start with hello and begin those conversations. Thank you for listening to this PowerPoint. We have a lot of more activities to come, but I wish you all the best. And again, you are the ones that can make the difference in our school. Thank you.